Hey everyone, welcome to Wildlife Inspired. I'm your host, Scott Keys. In today's video, a very quick thoughts video about storytelling with a single image. It's a follow-up to a video I did on context. Now, I'm going to tell you what this is all about right after this. I did my original video about putting a subject into context and kind of giving it a framework around habitat or maybe even telling a story. And that elicited the following comment. I'll put it over here. I want to make sure I've taken out the name here. I want to make sure I put this up there. This is not a negative comment. I didn't view this as like somebody attacking me for presenting a wrong standpoint. And maybe they were, but I didn't take it that way. So I actually hope I would encourage them to continue to follow the channel and maybe leave more comments. I've tried to create an environment here where we use comments respectfully, thoughtfully, and certainly I get one or two negative comments every now and then that are just out of left field and don't really have any substance to them. But I've tried to create an environment where people can share their opinion, even if it's not the same opinion that I have. The comment was about, and I'm just going to look down and read it, but it was about, it is almost impossible to tell a story with a single image unless you change the definition of story. And it made me think like, okay, I think I understand what they mean. Here's what I think the intent is. And I'm going to ask you to just down in the comments, tell me if you agree with this. So it's kind of like a yes or no. You can pause the video and answer this. So the question is this to start. Can a single moment in time, so a frame, can it by itself, stand alone, tell a story? So no caption, no words, nobody explaining the image to you. Can it tell a story, or is it simply a snapshot in time? So down in the comments, let me know right now. Now I'm going to explain my viewpoint. I don't know if it'll change your answer to this, but as we read this comment, there was a couple other things in here. I once heard a photographer say, I'm not a photographer, I'm a visual storyteller. I've heard that before. I do think there can be an air of arrogance sometimes around comments like that. I don't think it's wrong, but I kind of get the perspective. So here's my perspective, or here's my thought on this storytelling. When I thought about an image taken at a moment in time, there's no before and no after. And a story generally has like an arc, right? Like there's a beginning, there's the substance of the story, and then there's probably an ending, hopefully a happy ending, not always. So how do you tell a story if it's just a moment in time, if it's just one single snapshot? No series of images, no video, and no words around it. So nobody to tell you the story. And it made me think that sometimes maybe as and I'll use the word creator, maybe that rubs people the wrong way, but as the creator of an image anyway, as the person that took it, I know the story. Like I saw the before and I saw the after. I happened to take the image. So in my head, maybe I'm implying my stories as I put them out there and assuming that the audience also is privy to that they can share that story as well. So there's that part of it. There's the creator implying that the audience knows the story. Here's the part where I want to talk about the storytelling though, and can it happen in a single image? And then I thought about it from just the person watching it. So in the first video, I made this point. I tried to make this point that when we put an image as part of, let's say, a magazine article or a presentation, it makes a lot of sense. I can reinforce my words with the image that I'm projecting on the screen or putting in the magazine. That makes sense, right? So it reinforces it. And often, let's say I'm telling a story about a bird living in habitat. I can put some examples up here as I talk, but if this story was about this subject lives in this environment, so it lives in a deep forest or it lives at the ocean, like certainly these visual elements can reinforce that and maybe even hold people's attention. But what happens if it's not part of a presentation or magazine? What happens if it's just, here's an image? Can the person looking at the image, can they imply a story? And that's the tricky part. So here's where I think it happens. I think it really is about the person that is the viewer. I'll call this just the viewer. The viewer could also be a creative type. So they may be of that mindset where they tell the stories to themselves. And so maybe it's just the way people are wired. Maybe some people absolutely can look at a single image and get a story out of it. So their mind is filling in all of those blanks. But maybe not everybody's wired like that. Like maybe some people look at an image, and it gets back to this thing about, I did a video a long time ago about the archetypes of photographers. And I got a lot of positive feedback on this, by the way. I put 4 archetypes. I think I added one in my head afterwards. I put these 4 archetypes up there, and maybe that's part of it. Like maybe the people that are the viewer, maybe those people also have a mindset where some are a little maybe fantasy oriented, or they're a little bit more, I don't know, they just have an imagination. So yeah, are they telling a story as they look at images sometimes? I think they do. I think they fill in the blanks. Other people may not be wired that way, and it kind of leans toward that technician part that I had referenced in this video about the archetypes. Maybe they're looking at the image for what it is, kind of viewing pixels, kind of seeing the technical parts of it or the composition. They're not really getting a story out of it. So I'm going to go back and defend my original position, which is I think a single image can tell a story. It can be placed in a broader context, like, again, magazine, presentation, somebody talking about it or discussing it, even captioning it. That can tell the story of that image. And then the viewer has a chance to put the two together. The words, either written or spoken, put those words to the image. But maybe you don't even need that. So maybe some people can just imply that. So maybe some people can just fill in the blanks, and they can tell a story without the need for those words. So now that I don't know if I've gotten that point off. Again, these quick thoughts videos are just my thoughts. I just get them out there. But I really do like that feedback. So down in the comments, let me know. Did the first part make sense? So a moment in time, can it tell a story? And does the second part make sense, that maybe the viewer, the way that the viewer is wired will affect that storytelling aspect? Oh, I hope I got this one. I hope I got this out of my head. Sometimes I told you before, I make these quick thoughts videos just to get them out of my head and get them out into the public sphere. So anyway, that's your quick thoughts video for today. Very short, just about visual storytelling with a single image. Can it be done? Let me know down in the comments. Let me know if you like these quick thoughts videos. By the way, got a lot of great videos coming up. I do these quick thoughts videos, but I also do product reviews. I do some educational things. Check all of that content out on my playlists. I think you'll enjoy that. I've got a great review coming up and some comparisons with some of the new Nikon lenses that are out there. I think you'll really enjoy those. And again, if you just like these quick thoughts videos, head down to the playlist, click on quick thoughts, and there's a lot of videos down there that are just going to cover, hopefully cover some themes or some topics that make you think. And that's my video for today. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell. You'll get notifications when I have new videos out. And as always, I hope we can continue to find inspiration in wildlife together.